All eyes are on the reigning champs in Los Angeles as they open the season with a game against Buffalo in hopes to bring home the championship again this year. This sports update is powered by Northern Tool and Equipment. Shop online at northerntool.com.
You've heard me say that Ramsey's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
It's not that the other stores won't give you choices.
They just can't.
Here's a real world example.
Ramsey's will sell you a 2-carat diamond
That's a big diamond.
for just $6,495.
$64.95, 2 carats.
You can choose between a 2-carat diamond from a diamond mine
Or a 2-carat created diamond.
compare them side by side, then make your choice.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End and Metairie.
Be the first to know the latest on the Saints. Join the Big Talkers Club at WWL.com. It's the point after with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert. Brought to you by Rouse's Markets. Shop Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Miller Lite. It's Miller time. Arcade Ambulance. Knowing life matters. Go Auto. Need money on cars. Go Auto. And by River Parish Disposal. Our business stinks, but it's picking up. Also, play Saints tickets from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. New Orleans Saints. Saints.
Do you want to hit the rant right away, or you want me to tease the rant?
Saints Point After is also brought to you by these local sponsors. J&J Exterminating, Louisiana's largest independently owned pest control company. The Hood Automotive Group, everything automotive under one hood. Also by Logo Express, for all your screen printing and embroidery needs. Oakland Heart Jewelers, finer diamonds at the best possible prices. Simply Compare. And River Parish Disposal. Our business stinks, but it's picking up. Saints fans, get in the game on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text Line, 504-260-1870. Now, the founding father of the Houdat Nation, Bobby Hebert, and Christian Garrick on the Community Coffee Saints Radio Network.
Yes, indeed. Welcome into the point after here on the Community Coffee New Orleans Saints Radio Network. The Saints win in a thriller, 27-26 over the Atlanta Falcons, one in which they blew another big fourth quarter lead. Talking about the Dirty Birds. 16-10, they were on top of the Saints.
You mean 26-10?
26-10.
Yeah, a lot worse than 16-10.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm still kind of, my brain's still trying to process what just happened.
Right.
Here is the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert's rant. Bobby, the floor is yours.
Well, boy, you say a tale of two halves. You said, boy, that we come to play, and you look at the first half, and then all of a sudden, you have a halftime speech or the coach does something, and they come out swing in the second half. Oh, a tale of two halves. Well, it was a tale of 3 quarters, then 1 quarter.
Yeah.
Or not even 1 quarter. We didn't really get going.
11 minutes.
It was 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, we decided to play. What a wake-up call. No, listen. We play like this the majority of the season. We'll be lucky if we'd be 7-10. It might be more like 6-11. Hello? No, we're not that. You're not good enough. The parity in the NFL, we're not good enough to get off the slow start like that and expect to win. The NFL is that good, but the bottom line is, no one cares. It's going to come the end of the season. It counts 2 for 1. Division opponent is going to come in December. You're just going to see if you won or lost the game. Now, this is what you describe as an ugly win, but you can have a great win or an ugly win, and they all count the same.
Yeah, but this win can also do some things, Bobby, for you going forward. When you come back.
You know what it can do? It can humble you to show you just can't show up. Because we got whooped on the line. I mean, how many sacks we had? How many sacks we had? 0. How many sacks they had? 4. I mean, so no, there's a lot to correct, and the bottom line is like it's always better to win. Obviously, when you breaking down your mistakes than when you lose. But it just goes to show you in the history of this series, about a giant sample size. Christian, you know what the record now is in the regular season between Atlanta and the Saints? 53-53. Now think about that. The odds of that happening. You want to talk about parity? They won 53. That being the Dirty Birds, and the Who Dat Nations won 53 games. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But when you look at what have you done for me lately, more than a 2-1 advantage since the Sean Payton era. And now Dennis Allen's want to know, we're 23-10 since 2006. So it just shows you how far behind we're, and now we got back up. So 53-53. Look, this is a good trend. We've if you look at it, the black and gold are now I've won 4 consecutive season openers. That wasn't all the case, and that's the first time in history that we won 4 consecutive openers in Saints history. We've also now, Christian, you say home field advantage, don't field advantage, whatever. The Saints have now won the last 5 games played in Atlanta. So that's a big sample size. The last 5 games we played in the ATL, the Saints have come out on top.
Because of Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah, they
right at home.
Well, Mercedes-Benz Superdome Stadium, and they maybe that was a jinx to take that name or something, But the bottom line is we've had their number, but it was nothing to write home from the get-go. I thought a number of opportunities, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. I mean, you never would want the game to start this way. As they go 9 plays, they only got a 54-yard field goal. But we started out 3 and out. I mean, you could break down the first 3 quarters. Like, did we even want to play the game? I mean, we basically gave up 5, and we were a good run defense team. See, this is what's puzzling. Last year, it was, Hebert, that's last year. Well, no, it's a lot of the same players. We gave up 3.7 yards a run. Well, today we gave up 5.5 yards a run. Basically, look at Patterson. Like Deuce said, at number 84, boy, he looks like a power running back. He had 120 yards. And we've been able to stop individual rushers from getting 100 yards. I mean, we had like the NFL record.
But the Falcons really looked at that Eagles film and they emulated a lot of those similar.
Yeah, a lot of those similar plays. And I thought Marcus Mariota was poised at times. He looked like he was playing with a lot of confidence. Jameis didn't look like he was playing with a lot of confidence until that 4th quarter. You got to give Jameis credit, how he hung in there. The only offense we had at the beginning was Taysom Hill. And, we actually took a 7-3 lead right there. We go 5 plays, 77 yards in 2 minutes to take that 7-3 lead. And then, when it kind of started like it was going downhill. Then Pete Werner caused the fumble and then recovered by Bradley Roby. So we ended up +1 in the turnover margin. So we need to stay on that plus side throughout the season. But when Lutz missed that 46-yard field goal, and it seems like from that time on, that was at the latter part of the first quarter, and it just seems like it went downhill. Because if you look at, they had a drive with Patterson. They went 9 plays, 66 yards, and he had 8 rushes for 53 yards in that drive. So it was nothing to write home about. A very humbling, I said, learning experience. You have to come to play. The Saints are almost looking at the beginning, we're just going to show up as the Falcons. They're not very good, and we're going to win this game. No, it's the NFL. You better come ready to play. I thought at times they were picking on Bradley Roby, not having Paulson or Debo in there. You could see a number of times he was targeted. Now, let me see what he did. He ended up having, I want to say, he had a fumble recovery, had 1 pass defended, but it seems like they're going after. Who actually was active is Pete Werner, had 11 unassisted tackles, 12 total, tackle for loss, a forced fumble. But just to go to show you Patterson, I seen him slap run over Honey Badger and Marcus May like a couple of times. That you better.
That's not your typical receiver.
No, you better pack a lunch when you're going to tackle him, but he's going to slap run you over. I thought that when you look at Winston at times with Michael Thomas, the timing was just off. I mean, with the throws. But really, I think it was their first game together. You can't draw it up any perfect. Those back shoulder touchdown throws, that's how you draw it up. I mean, the coverage is there. You just have to have a very accurate throw, and you have to have a receiver that's going to make contested catches and also have strong hands when all said and done. I'd say this is something that we got to get better. Um, and we were good in preseason with this third down defense, even though Dennis Allen looks like we were 38%. They were 5 of 13. If you can give up, in the 30s percent as far as third down defense, the low 30s, yeah, right. But that wasn't bad. I'm saying, and now we were bad offensively. We were only 4 of 13 for 31%. Now, if they were 4 of 13, it's just one third down. But when you look at discontinued red zone, we were 100%, and goal to go, we were 100%. Well, they were 50%. We had the number one red zone defense. Whether you're getting a turnover or forcing a field goal, they were 2 of 4, and goal to goal, they end up being 2 for 3. No, that could be the difference whether you're winning or losing, but it was because of Taysom in the running. But they all had a high average. It's just the ebb and flow of the game because we're having to play catch up. But Kamara averaged 4.3 yards a carry, Ingram 5.5, Taysom ridiculous 20.3 yards. But we ended up like 151 yards, basically 8 yards average. We had 19 attempts, but again, we had to play catch up. But they ran the ball, and I think they want to do this to Marcus Mariota 38 times, but we gave up 201 yards rushing. Again, that's like we were playing the Eagles. Last 2 times we played the Eagles, when they basically had 200-plus yard rushing games. But again, we gave up 4 sacks. We didn't get any. I mean, I thought this was one of Demario Davis's poorest games in a uniform. I saw one time Patterson just ran right through his tackle. So it definitely wasn't the wolf pack to me. It was like maybe the wolf pups, the little puppies still in the den, not quite coming out the way we tackled then. I thought Marcus May made plays at time. He ended up with 9 total tackles. He also had a forced fumble. Cam Jordan wasn't as impactful as he has been in past Falcons games. So really, it was kind of think how, when you talk about, this defense has a chance to beat a Dome Patrol, I'd say not so fast. Slow your roll on that one because of this type game that they had against Atlanta. You know why? Because it was in the trenches. You can sometimes get burned and all that, but when you look at who's manhandling who, we finally turned around, but you'd have to say overall, their offensive defensive line, they were kind of punking the Saints. And that's very humiliating. So, listen, I think this might be a good thing because we won down to go against Tampa Bay. Then you're going to try and redeem yourself and win in the trenches.
Different offenses.
Right. And then, but still trying to win those battles and be more dominant because you know who we still couldn't block. I mean, he whipped 3 of our linemen, and that being Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett, he had like a sack and a half, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hurries, tackle for a loss. He beat 3 out of our 5 linemen. He beat Cesar Ruiz, he beat Hurst, he beat Andrew Speed one time in the double team. So, no, that's what we expected. You know who else? We didn't call David Onyemata. They even mentioned his name. I mean, guys that we are counting on to come up big time did not happen. Again, no interceptions, which is good for Jameis. We didn't get any interceptions. But, we fumbled one time. They had 2 fumbles, so we ended up being +1. Now, this one, the cusp of killing ourselves, we ended up having 8 penalties, 99 yards. So I said 9 penalties or more, 100 yards. So that could cost you. They end up possessing the football 7.5 minutes more than we had it. And when you look at it also, that what killed us at the game, I thought it was bad clock management. I think there was a lot of misunderstanding going on at the end where, I mean, okay, why are we clocking and the clock stopped? I think Dennis Allen was telling Jameis to clock it, and they didn't realize that was a penalty. But also it's 3rd and 4. It's 3rd and 4, and then we're clocking it. and there's enough time to try and get a first down and get closer. Now, Will Lutz made the field goal, so it's a moot point. But I said bad clock management. 3rd and 4, we spike it. It wasn't like there was. I mean, it was 20-some seconds left. So I think
if you don't spike it, one more clock, Falcons may not possess the ball and have that wild, iffy kind of finish we had at the end.
Yeah, and then again, you got to take Marcus May drop the pick at the end, hit you right in the gut. You gotta make those type of plays. We would say Marcus Williams makes that, but Marcus May has to make it. And then Lattimore, are you an idiot? What are you doing? The dude, you might have been wanting to fight that guy the whole game, but you can't go and slam him and get a 15-yard penalty because all of a sudden, Koo has a chance to maybe kick a Tom Dempsey game-winning type kick. Now, Peyton Turner was able to block it, so good for the Saints. I mean, this is a win you feel like very humbled, and you say, boy, we really, but we stole the win. But it all counts the same. And I think this is good for us to get slapped around and said, hey, we're not that good. We can't just show up if we're going to do something this season. And so we are 1-0 in the NFC South. Carolina lost to Cleveland. We're up on the Falcons, so they're 0-1. Now we're going to see what Tampa Bay is going to do against Dallas. So we off to, no matter how it looked, we're off to the start that you wanted to get off to, and that is 1-0. And the only thing that, Christian, this one, your blood pressure would not have rose if we'd have had more drives like we had with Taysom Hill, where we went 5 plays, 77 yards in about 2 minutes, and we had taken the lead, and we thought, okay, here we're going to go now, even though they had that little drive and we had went 3 and out. But other than that, a win's a win, and a lot to correct. I'm glad Michael Thomas and James Winston finally got to play one another. And how they did in the fourth quarter, I'm not saying you can do that for fourth quarter, sustain that, but you need to do that at least 3 out of the 4.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Community Coffee New Orleans Saints Radio Network. All right, it's the point after the Saints win 27-26. We're just getting started here. Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick. This is the Community Coffee New Orleans on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.